Section 1. What if your Mac could transcribe everything you say accurately, instantly, without sending a single byte to the cloud? That's exactly what Ratschn does. Ratschn is a local dictation app for macOS. You press a shortcut, you speak, and your words appear as text, directly inserted into whatever app you're using. Slack, Notion, VS Code, your email client, it doesn't matter. Ratschn hooks into the system and types for you. The interesting part is what's happening under the hood. There's no API call to OpenAI Whisper's cloud endpoint. There's no audio being uploaded to some server in Virginia. The transcription runs entirely on your machine using Apple's CoreML framework, which means it's leveraging the neural engine built into Apple's silicon chips. The M1 and M2, M3 chips were literally designed to run models like this efficiently, and Ratschn takes full advantage of that. The app itself is built with Tauri, which uses Rust for the back-end logic. That combination, Rust plus Tauri, means the app is lightweight, fast to launch, and doesn't consume a significant chunk of your RAM just sitting in the menu bar. This isn't an Electron app quietly eating 400 megabytes of memory while you're not looking. In practice, what you get is a dictation experience that's genuinely competitive with cloud-based tools, but it works offline, it's near instant, and nothing leaves your device. Section 2. Now let's be honest about what Ratschn does not do, because there are real limitations here. First, language support. Because it relies on CoreML and specifically Apple's on-device speech models, you're working within whatever Apple has optimized for your region and system settings. If you need highly accurate transcription in less common languages or dialects, you may find gaps. Cloud Whisper models are typically trained on broader multilingual datasets. On-device models trade coverage for efficiency. Second, it's Mac only. This is not a criticism, it's a deliberate architectural choice. CoreML is Apple's framework. The neural engine is Apple hardware. If you're on Windows or Linux, Ratschn simply doesn't exist for you. There's no cross-platform version. Third, customization and vocabulary. If you work in a domain with heavy jargon, medical, legal, highly technical engineering, cloud-based solutions often let you fine-tune or provide custom vocabulary hints. Ratschn doesn't offer that. It transcribes general spoken language well, but specialized terminology may get mangled. Fourth, there's no editing interface. Ratschn isn't a transcription editor. It inserts text where your cursor is. If you want to review, search, or manage a library of transcripts, you're on your own. The tool is a pipe, not a workspace. And finally, while it works offline beautifully, you're dependent on Apple continuing to maintain and improve their CoreML speech models. That's a dependency you don't fully control. Section 3. So where could something like Ratschn realistically go from here? The most obvious next step is deeper system integration. Right now it inserts text at the cursor. But imagine a version that could detect context. You're in a code editor, so it auto-formats spoken code syntax. You're in an email app, so it applies punctuation rules suited to professional writing. That kind of context-aware transcription is technically feasible without cloud access. Another realistic direction, local post-processing with small language models. Apple Silicon has enough horsepower to run not just transcription but lightweight grammar correction or formatting passes immediately after transcription, still entirely on-device. Models like Phi 3 Mini or similar small LLMs could run locally to clean up transcription artifacts, the ums, the repeated words, the half-sentences, before the text hits your app. There's also a strong case for custom vocabulary support through local model adapters. CoreML does support model customization pipelines. A future version of Ratschn could let you feed it a glossary file, your company's product names, your medical specialty terms, and have those baked into inference without any cloud training job. And accessibility is a genuinely underexplored angle. For users with motor disabilities or RSI, a rock-solid local dictation tool that works in every app without subscriptions or internet requirements is not a nice-to-have, it's critical infrastructure. That's a user base that would pay for reliability. Section 4. So why does Ratschn exist? What problem is it actually solving? The honest answer is trust and friction. Cloud dictation tools work. Google's speech API is accurate. Whisper is impressive. But every time you dictate something using a cloud service, you're making a choice to send your voice data and everything you're saying to a third-party server. For most casual use, that's fine. But for anyone working with sensitive client information, confidential business strategy, personal health details, or just someone who's philosophically uncomfortable with that model, cloud dictation has a real cost. And then there's friction. The best dictation tools often require subscriptions, require you to be online, add latency because of the round trip to a server. When you're in a flow state trying to write or communicate, 300 milliseconds of lag or a checking connection error message is enough to break your rhythm. Ratschn's answer is, what if we just don't do any of that? Modern Apple silicon chips are powerful enough to run competitive speech recognition locally. The Rust plus Tauri stack is lean enough that the app doesn't become a resource burden. And the result is a tool that's always available, always private, and fast enough to not get in your way. It's a project that bets on local computation being genuinely good enough, not as a compromise, but as a feature. And given where Apple's silicon is heading, that bet looks increasingly reasonable. If you're building or deploying tools like this and you need reliable hosting for companion services or APIs, DigitalOcean's app platform is worth a look. Straightforward pricing, no surprise bills, link in the description. That's Ratschn. Local, private, fast. Check it out at ratschn.com.